Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Geek Therapeutics. I am your guest GM, Renee Ritchie, and I have a fantastic festive group with me tonight where we're going to play a game using the Mora Cinematic Gaming System. This has a genre or a setting that I built specifically for Geek Therapeutics for these holiday games, and it's called Elves on Strike. Pretty much what it says on the tin. Our players tonight will be playing various disgruntled elves in various departments at the North Pole who want better working conditions, and they'll be hopefully be gathering together and advocating for their rights in the most jolly way possible. All right, let's go ahead and go around the table to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about, their practice and who they'll be playing tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Erin.
Oh, hi. So I'm Erin. I'm playing Elfie, the rapping elf. I'm the lead rapping elf this year. So in my real day-to-day practice, I work with children in elementary schools. I'm a behavior analyst, so I do like behavior specialist kind of work, but I do a lot of games within I do social groups mainly. And so the games are a way for us to work on different things.
Sounds great. Next, we will go with Katie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katie, and on tonight's game, I will be playing the lead research elf, Cutie Pie. And Cutie Pie is using they, them pronouns. They are sort of your the creative, comes up with those bizarre toys type, but like really fascinating, probably designed the Rubik's Cube, like that elf. In real life, Katie Protos, I am Doctor of Social Work, licensed clinical social worker in Connecticut, and I work primarily with the LGBTQ community and with those who are struggling with trauma and eating disorders. So excited to be part of Geek Therapy and to bring the gaming and role play into those spaces as a very meaningful way of engaging with the clients.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. Next up, we will go with Adam.
Hello, my name is Adam. I shall be playing Nitpick, the logistics elf. Basically, the rules are there for a reason. They are the barrier that keeps us from descending into complete and utter chaos. And it's like, you can break the rules if you want, but if the kids don't get their presents on time, that's on you. Real life, I am the exact opposite person. Yeah, I am in private practice, going to be sending in my paperwork to be licensed at the end of the week. And yeah, primarily work with adults, just expanded into working with teenagers. Love working with ADHD and just neurodivergence in general. That's kind of my go-to.
Fantastic. And somebody with ADHD, thank you. We get a lot of creatives, especially in the role-playing game space, that usually have some form of neurodivergence, and ADHD seems pretty common. Next, we will go with Haley.
Hi, I'm Haley. Tonight I'm playing the holiday cheer rep, Charity. That's the elf that, just wants everyone to get along, and that's what's most important, is that we all just stay cheerful and happy together. In my real life, I live in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. I work with the LGBTQIA community, eating disorders and recovery, early childhood abuse recovery as well. It's long-term psychodynamic work, so sort of fundamental shifts, life shifts for folks who are just recovering from all sorts of different things in their lives. And I really like the idea of using role-playing games also just in how I'm formulating my casework with clients as I'm doing any sort of guided imagery work or sort of walking them back through rewriting sort of narratively their roles and their positions of power in like different parts of their lives.
That sounds amazing. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Greg.
I'm Greg. I will be playing the assembly line worker elf. Hallelujah is his name. Hal for short. In real life, I own a private practice in Western Wisconsin that does about half assessment work and half therapy. And my focus is on children and adolescents for the therapy.
Fantastic. First of all, big thank you to all of you for the work that you do specifically with your various communities, because there's a lot that folks like me couldn't do without a really solid mental health professional in my corner. So thank you for that. All right. And now let's begin. It is, in fact, December 23rd at the North Pole. The campus is bustling. Everybody's getting prepared for the big night, as they call it, for Christmas Eve. There's a period of 24 hours where it is literally just nonstop, usually starting at about sunset at the earliest time zone, and just back and forth, constant trips. The flight plans on this are absolutely intricate, as I'm sure our dear Nitpick would know.
It's chaos, utter chaos.
Utter chaos. That said, even with elves working around the clock to making sure that we hit all the various quotas and all the various presents are assembled and wrapped and ready to go on the sleigh when they're supposed to, things are a little stressful. But there's still time for a break. After all, Santa Claus is also beholden to labor laws. And this is about a good time for folks to gather in the break room and figure out, where their various departments are, and see who's about and who's cracked from the pressure and who's still cheerful. The break room is stocked with the appropriate hot cocoa with whipped cream and extra sprinkles, cookies, snacks, and in some places the atmosphere is just a little less than normally cheerful. So what do your various characters do on their break, and how do your characters know each other?
It's all about the eggnog. Have to have some eggnog.
There you go.
Absolutely. Just help yourself with just the noggiest of eggnogs we've ever just had. I just hope it just makes you so happy.
Yes, happiness is very important for productivity. You have 14 minutes and 37 seconds or we're going to be completely off.
Then time to lift those spirits on the clock. Am I right? Am I right, Nitpick?
Sure.
Cutie Pie launches into a soliloquy about where the eggs came from that were used in the eggnog and the various state of cinnamon, and the differences between ground versus like the kind that's still in the stick form. And it's just kind of like a scientific American of the ingredients for eggnog. And
I'm like nodding away, and as they're talking, I'm like piling like one of each different type of cookie and adding cinnamon, all the different cinnamons they're describing, and just continue to nod, but like their plate is gradually like getting higher and higher with like cookies and cupcakes and muffins and chocolates.
And they remark on just impressed at your ability to navigate gravity in a way to keep all of those items on your plate. Like they are completely impressed by Charity.
Oh, well, I'm just so glad.
And I spend my time on the break rapping. I rap for a living, and I rap in my free time. I am a big fan of poetry. I do art. If I have a little scrap of paper, I just turn it into something like origami or something, just like, I don't know, art everywhere. It surrounds me. I live it. And so the break, I entertain people with my speeches and my poetry and my rapping, of course. I hope they like it. It doesn't matter. I'll do it anyway.
And no one suspects Squeaker, who's also in Holiday Cheer, to be an excellent beatboxer.
I'm like bouncing along to the beat of like whatever the rapping elf is like rapping. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'm like snapping.
How about you, Hal?
It's the eggnog. If I don't get enough hydration,
Hydration.
gotta stay hydrated.
While you're all rather merrily or perhaps anxiously on your break, some more anxious than others, the PA system comes on with a signal bell. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Attention all elves. Please report to the North Pole Auditorium for an all hands by Santa Claus. Please report to the auditorium for an all hands by Santa Claus.
Oh, here we go again.
Summer chain, everyone. I try and get like some sort of soul trainy kind of action going. I have no idea if this is actually gonna work.
I love it.
I'm still rapping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
It
try
is-
and get Elfie in there to like get the beat going.
It is absolutely the most musical group of elves making their way to the auditorium. And you know, it's actually kind of infectious. Some of the other groups that look a little haggard, they're like very clearly working pretty hard. Some of the other folks who are a little earlier on the assembly line than Hal, and there's like kind of like, but then they kind of hear the music and they stand up a little taller and start dancing along the music, and everybody's kind of ushered in.
Nitpick starts doing some type of percussion, not because he's into it, but because he realizes he can control the pace at which everyone is walking by speeding up.
That's amazing.
So we've got DJ Nitpick raising the BPMs on you.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I love it.
It's a control move. I get it.
There you go. Absolutely.
Cutie Pie is kind of resisting the beat, but can't help it and finds like their toes and their feet just kind of
There you
driving
go.
along, and is just excited that maybe, just maybe, Santa has finally reviewed and approved the plans, and the toy that the Cutie Pie created could finally go out for Christmas.
There you go. Yeah, you remember that beat actually. You kind of remember that beat a little bit from, you know, early in the year at Burning Elf.
Yes. There are red and green glow sticks being passed out along the line.
Because of course there are. That said, some of the folks who are specifically on, you know, sleigh traffic control don't necessarily appreciate their tools for guiding the sleigh being used.
They're
for
really
party.
crummy ones, the ones that you get at like children's birthday
know.
parties.
Yeah. But somebody ended up
I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want anyone to get upset.
Well, somebody got a hold of them because that stuff's
respect
infectious.
Yeah, Nitpick gets on his little headset, like his little Bluetooth headset, and it's like, Blitzen, disengage, false alarm, false alarm.
So with that, everybody makes their way into the auditorium and things start to settle. And in walks Santa Claus, not in his normal big day suit, but what he usually wears when he's hosting these all hands off the clock. Red and white Converse, tight red skinny jeans, buffalo plaid flannel. The side shave is growing out a little bit, but he's got a little bit there, and he's got the hipster glasses going. And he's carrying a red and white striped tablet with him, reading off some
A little
of the
bean
notes.
Santa.
Oh yeah. Tech hipster Santa. Here we go. And when he comes up, there's, a little bit of a cheer from folks who are, excited to see Santa. He just puts his hands down and says, "Dearest elves, first of all, I would like to congratulate you all on all the hard work that you've done this year. It's been a bit of a challenge. There's been a lot going on. People have been a little bit more inclined to impulse buying this year, so lists have been a little scattered. But first, I would like to extend some hearty gratitude to all of you, especially as we are launching into the big night. As you know, this is our most important day of the year. That said, we are unfortunately behind on a few places. Toy assembly is at about 60% capacity to what it needs to be. Unfortunately, there was the sustainable wrapping initiative that fell through, and now there's a lot of wrapping that needs to be redone for rollbacks. And I've recently heard that the customer satisfaction scores from the holiday cheer department are a little on the downswing. And as for research, well, I'm going to go with some radical candor here. The ideas for new toys and innovations have been, quite frankly, lackluster. I understand it's been a very rough year. There's been a lot going on in the world. We need to be at our best. We are the arbiters of holiday cheer. And we may need to innovate, which may mean we may need to make some hard decisions. He looks very somber there for a second, like he's not happy with what he's going to have to say next. If this continues, I'm going to have to engage in some very strict budget cuts. That may mean reduction of items such as eggnog, cookies, breaks, and depending on how things go, we may need to have some cutbacks. The last time there were some cutbacks, well, let's just say those elves weren't seen again.
Does that mean nobody got a postcard either?
No one got a postcard. No one, even one of them was talking about a career change to become a tooth fairy, but nobody heard from them either.
I told you, Soylent Green.
There was actually a sudden bump in the inventory of biodegradable glitter, yes.
Whoa. That's freaking creepy.
That's not how biodegradable glitter was supposed to be made.
No, it's not.
Ooh.
Well, I
You
won't
work
be using it on
what you
wrapping.
What's happening?
Somebody said something, unfortunately I missed it.
You work with what you have.
Not me. As the lead wrapping elf, I'm not using glitter.
The whole point of biodegradable glitter is to help the production, to help the environment, not to harm those of us who are in the environment.
I think
It must have been
there's
must have been a misread of the plan. Not
Wait,
supposed to
are
include elf.
magic elves part of the environment? I forget.
Yet the elves went away and then the glitter amount grew.
I noticed this the last time I was crunching the numbers. I thought it was a bit of an anomaly.
Yeah, and nobody's heard from Happy or Boppy or Bippity or Boo or anyone since they were let go. But we have a glitter surplus that wasn't there before they were let go.
Now that I think about it, there's also an increase in googly eyes.
This is so upsetting. I
will
thought there
now
were more
open
pipe cleaners than usual, but
Yeah, Nitpick hears you say this and like pulls out his little like tablet and is like going through the Excel spreadsheets of all of the like he's got a little like a pivot table or whatever that's correlating like increased glitter and googly eye production with like layoffs and stuff like that. And he's like, the math checks out. That's extremely disturbing.
Extremely disturbing.
who is this fat man in the suit? Sorry, Katie. Who is this this not very nice person that I thought he was a really good person? Now he's not. What is happening?
I will now open the floor for an open Q&A. There's in fact a little, candy cane striped microphone that's passed around for folks.
I emailed Santa the Excel spreadsheet with the pivot tables and everything like while he's up there.
There's a little ping from the tablet, specifically when you send the email. It's like, oh, I forgot to turn that off silent.
I like make eye contact with him like,
I stand on my chair for one of the candy cane microphones, and sort of in my squeakiest voice. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we could just do without the eggnog and the cookies, and we just let us keep working. I think we'll just be okay. We'll manage. We'll be okay. We'll just sing songs or something. I think it'll be fine. Okay, bye. And then I sort of like pass the microphone and sort of scrunch back down in my seat and start crying.
So a couple of the other elves in your department come specifically to comfort you, and they have little scented tissues. And
you just hear me mumble words like glitter and like googly eyes as I sniffle and cry.
That said, a couple of the other folks on the assembly line are like, eggnog, no, we can't live without our eggnog. That was a declared benefit when I was hired for this job.
How are we supposed to pound wheels onto trains without eggnog?
I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we have to.
this actually doesn't make any sense. The statistics that I've been seeing recently have shown that eggnog increases worker productivity by 20%. It's actually a cost-saving measure. This is just
But it's
bad
related to the
management.
rum content.
That seems really short-sighted.
Incredible.
Cutie Pie approaches the mic and kind of taking in this conversation and saying, I'd like to propose a last minute change to the eggnog recipe that could remove some of the cost. If we use egg beaters and brandy and just mix the two together, we can cut down on the preparation time and the request for chickens and laying and harvesting and cleaning and purifying, because you don't have to worry about it. You can eat egg beaters raw. There's no actual egg product. It's like almost eggnog. Could be a whole new brand. I can see it now. And of course, inspired by you, Santa Claus.
That's fine, but the research elves have to drink decaf then.
You can have the extra brandy. That's okay. Just we can cut costs, keep the eggnog, keep it flowing, build the wheels, move forward, and make up some ground while saving money. It's all in the science.
Not the eggnog.
Can you send me the data?
Already in your inbox.
So everything's gonna be okay? We're all gonna be all right.
I'll
Can we
check
fix
out.
the problem?
Cutie Pie actually pours out some samples because they've already been working on this idea and we're ready for that moment. And so just as has a whole research team handing out those little plastic cups you see in doctor's offices with this artificial eggnog with high potency brandy, gives the assembly line a little extra.
I can't even tell the difference.
Problem solved.
So, KT, I'm going to go ahead and have you make a roll for me real quick for this new experimental eggnog. So that's going to be a mind plus technology roll.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so it's going to be your mind attribute plus your technology skills. So that's 5 plus 3, that's 8, and then roll 2d6 and then add that to your total.
11 on the 2d6.
Woo!
Laughing, that's a lot.
That's 19. The elves who try this are actually rather impressed. They weren't really sure where to go with it. There are a couple of holdouts who, prefer the texture of the carrageenan, but yeah, it's a thing.
Can we call it not your mother's eggnog or something? I don't know.
I love it.
Eggnog.
Eggnog. Eggnog. And a chicken, give me a 2 thumbs up.
How it actually, you can't tell the difference.
I think I can.
You think you can, but really you can't.
I can. I've gotten it wrong in the blind taste test 4 out of 5 times, but I still think I can.
Yeah, for sure.
After a while, there's definitely a few people who have brought up disgruntled concerns, and they have been told specifically to bring them to the admin department, which is, elf relations, finance, information technology.
We should be doing that, or
send an email to your friendly local admin department.
Well, I think we definitely should get to speak to the manager. I mean, I think we should just be able to right to the top, because we're really in it to win it. We just want to make it all happen. So let's all work together with the highest level we can reach.
That's right. You do, in fact, have a handy dandy quality that is in fact called speak to the manager.
You do. It says it on my sheet.
Yes, it does. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. So for you, Haley, I want you to go ahead and roll a heart plus convince. So that's going to be 4 plus 3 for you. And then you get a plus 3 wildcard bonus specifically for escalating to a higher authority. So that'll give you plus 10 to start with before you make your roll. Generally, difficulties for these things, are usually going to be around 10 to 15. So
I rolled a 19 total.
Okay. You just happen to know
the flannel man.
Yes, you actually do happen to know the head of the admin department, the very top, the next person before it would in fact be Santa Claus himself. And you have a meeting scheduled on your calendar now for later today, and you are welcome to bring whoever you like.
Hey crew, I think we need someone from every department to really make this work. We don't want any elves to end up as glitter or goo, so I think I can get us all in, if we can all just be ready to try and work it out. What do you say?
I'm in.
Well, if Hal can put it together and Elfie can wrap it up,
I'm in.
And Cutie's gonna come up with those problem solutions, all we need is someone to make it all work out. Nitpick, are you in?
Nitpick pulls out a second tablet to continue coordinating things because there's not enough space on the first tablet. And he goes, as long as you don't mind me multitasking, I guess that's fine. I have
You
5
get
minutes of
what?
wiggle room. As long as you don't mind me multitasking, that's fine.
That's fine. No, absolutely. Sometimes people just need to be doing two things at once. I get it.
No, one
Ah,
wheel
two
at a
things.
time.
Yeah, two things. That would be wonderful.
Two and two and two and two and two and two.
And with that, you have a little bit of time before your meeting with
Okay.
Shirley Sirius, the head of admin, who handles all of those elfin relation questions at the very top. So you have a little bit of time before your meeting to head off to your various departments and do any preparations. So what would y'all like to do? Just to kind of just go around the horn real quick, just to figure out who wants to do what, as I'm slipping into my own corporate speak because I have a corporate day job.
Really serious is so serious. I'm going to go come up with a really great song and some artwork while I come up with my song, and I'm going to present it to her when we go because I want to help support Charity and the whole team. Yeah, so I'm going to go work on some art.
Okay, so in that case, are you looking for something specifically that's going to be kind of more visual art? Or are you looking for more kind of like more of a wordsmith sort of thing? Because that's
Probably a little of both, a little of each.
Okay.
Because I don't really know what she likes. I just know she's really hard to reach because she's so serious. She's not like the rest of us. She's not like the elves that we hang out with on the floor. She's isolated and she's hard to. I don't know what she likes, so I'm just gonna try to go at all angles, try to reach her somehow.
Okay, so for that, go ahead and roll mind plus art for me.
I didn't do so well, so I got 3 altogether.
Okay, so your mind plus art skill, it's 8, so that's 11.
Yeah.
So you have something that kind of works. Some of the rhyme schemes are a little off, but you're in a time crunch, so it works, but it's definitely not your best work. Okay, so we have Elfie. Who's next?
Nitpick is go.
So I want to try to find out more about Shirley Sirius and like what makes her tick and what needs she might be having or might be going on in her life. I don't know if that's like subterfuge because I haven't met with her yet, but I want to try and figure out like how I could make her feel just better, happier, more seen, more understood, but I don't know if anybody knows her really.
Right. So it's because you're doing this ahead of time, this is going to be more of a mind plus knowledge roll for you. So it's 3 plus 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and give that a difficulty of a 15 just because it is a little difficult. You can spend a mind specialty if you have one, specifically if you can make it apply, and that can reduce the difficulty by 5.
Can you explain that?
So on your sheet, you have specializations for your attributes and your skills.
And under mind, I have problem solver.
Yeah. So basically what you can do is you can spend that specialization.
Mm-hmm.
And then use that to reduce the difficulty, or there's a few things you can actually do with that. But I think reduce the difficulty is probably going to be your best option for that. Where is it?
So I've rolled a total of 5, and that is plus mind is 6, and plus, what was the other one?
So
you were doing
mind, so your mind score is 3. So your mind attribute is 3. Your knowledge skill is 2, so it's 5, and then you rolled 5 on your dice. Okay, that's a 10. Did you want to, did you want to spend that specialization?
Problem solver? Yeah, I don't know how to spend problem solver exactly.
So basically, you just figure out how that specialization would apply to what you're trying to do. And if you can convince me, it absolutely counts. So
if I can figure out something that
honestly, it sounded like you already kind of had it in place. You're like kind of figure out like a little bit more who she is, what makes her tick, if she's got something going on that you can, make better. It sounds like you already kind of had that in place. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm being nice because it's a holiday. It's a gift. So yeah. So based on what you're able to figure out just through what access you do have to various items, Shirley Sirius is definitely a little bit harder to read. That she wasn't always with North Pole campus. She came in previously from actually a competitor, specifically Krampus Corp. So it was definitely a different culture fit for her when she was first hired. But she very clearly knows what she's doing, knows how to get things done. But trying to make her smile is going to be real hard. Cheery is not necessarily something she does very well, but she's effective.
Is there anything that's keeping her from being as effective as she wants to be? Whereas at Campus Core, she would have been able to be as effective as she was? Like, has she ever mentioned anything about like, well, Campus Core, this would have worked because da-da-da-da-da-da-da?
Not in your hearing, unfortunately. That said, she did mention something about collective bargaining at some point, at least to one of your other contacts. There are a few other folks in your apartment have no idea what that phrase means.
Yeah, I definitely go to Cutie Pie. So Cutie Pie, it's okay if I just interrupt you real quick. I know you're working on like the whole like not my nog problem, but I'm trying to figure out about like, Shirley, since we're going to be meeting with her, and someone said something about her talking about collective bargaining. But I don't know what that is or like what to do with it, but I think we really should know what to do with it because I think it's really important if we're going to make this work, and I really need to make her happy, but I don't know what to do.
Interesting. And Cutie Pie just kind of like pauses and like sticks their finger in the not my nog. Oh, it's perfect. Here, try this first.
You're amazing at this.
Thank
this
you.
Is so good. I think it's
Thank
better
you.
than the original. And it feels good knowing that it's not coming from actual chickens,
Right.
Like that really makes me feel good on the inside too.
Yeah. So here's the thing with collective bargaining. Okay. Let's imagine that the whole flock of chickens got together and were like, stop using our eggs for eggnog. We want more for our eggs. We want to raise our eggs to be chickens, not beverages at the holidays. And so if one chicken came and expressed this concern, it would be like, rogue chicken might wind up in the fryer. So if two chickens come, then you have like, a slightly larger dinner. But if you get enough chickens that organize together, then you're able to actually create change, and they can collectively bargain, sort of like a more effective voice representative of the entire flock instead of just one. So if this person is interested in collective bargaining, we might want to know, what is it that will be asked? Is it actually something that we would stand behind? And what is the difference between a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us plus this elf? That's not really a collective. That's like glitter,
medium-sized dinner party. Yeah,
right.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And so, maybe if this person knows if there are more people, maybe we're not the only elves that are a little bit upset, then we have a collective. But if it's just us,
dinner
that doesn't bode well.
Served right.
So that is
Okay.
the idea. Oh, I need to add more nutmeg. And QT moves on to
And
not right now.
cloves. Okay.
And cloves. Excellent. Thank you, Charity. Thank you.
Maybe I should get the cheer squad on this. I don't know if I have a cheer squad,
You
but I'm pretty
absolutely
sure
have
all
a
the other
cheer
cheerful,
squad.
the cheerful elves and I
Absolutely
also
have
get
a
together.
cheer squad.
We form pyramids and we have like little cheers, and
Yes.
we're definitely going to get out there and try and talk to like the different groups about not being dinner,
Okay.
sort of. Yeah, but like
So-
catchier. We all go to the Elfie for like the catchphrases.
There you go. QT pie. Is there anything else that you're doing aside from perfecting that recipe for eggnog or not your egg?
QT is always
Actually.
teaming. So eggnog is going to have multiple varieties, and recognizing that this is an elf that QT has not actually met before and is a bit more skeptical, has heard some rumors that this person does not get swayed very easily, is now also experimenting with various other liqueurs that can complement the eggnog, perhaps things with a higher proof that might help sway the person to share more information. And it actually has a couple of research elves looking for whether or not truth serum has actually been perfected. Because we know they were starting it earlier in the year, but then Santa was skeptical about this. It was something with the recon elf to find out who was naughty and nice, and to truly know not just these falsehoods that helicopter parents tend to tell at
We
this
don't
time
want the
of
black
year.
and white thinking either. You know, splitting's real difficult. You know, like
Exactly.
Yeah.
So QT Pie is just kind of organizing these various factions of the research team and is putting together the most just glamorous looking eggnog. And you also notice that there's several extremely drunk elves in this process as we're trying to get the right amount of proof to
Oh no.
perhaps loosen
Yeah.
the hesitation without impairing consent, because that's not good either. We need her to be cognizant and fully with us. So Cutie Pie is just frantically doing all this, and it smells like the single best Christmas ever, with the spices and the aromas, except for the person hiccuping in the corner.
Mhm. Yeah. The requests to be in the focus groups actually goes over really, really well with the assembly line, doesn't it, Hal?
Yes, Hal is stuck on this idea that, you know, we're behind. We've never really met our goals. But Hal is convinced that, you know, we've been pumping out assembled toys so fast that this number just can't be right. This 60% of what we need. So Hal's like to investigate, you know, maybe count up things in the warehouse, or maybe go over to wrapping and count what they're doing. But there's something wrong with these numbers, and I'm just going to look into that.
Okay. So, egg not in hand. This is, I think, sample number 3.
Still
Go.
the same.
No. But you need another to be sure, right?
Or 3. Blind taste with a control.
Cutie Pie has given the assembly team the sample of eggnog that essentially has like brandy flavoring. So it tastes potent, but there's next to no alcohol in it, and has a couple of the elves acting really drunk, but not, because Cutie Pie also knows
Control groups are
from
important.
observing that when Hal and team actually imbibe, assembly goes down. So it's just like pouring on like, yeah, extra flavoring, extra good. Thank you for being here. But not actually. It's like 1%.
Mhm. Okay. So for Hal, after talking with some of the folks on the assembly line, they don't seem to really notice any sort of dip in productivity. However, they do notice that the numbers seem to change every day as far as the actual goal and quota of how many toys need to be made before December 24th. And they're not sure who's cooking the numbers, but they're not happy with it.
I think I have to kick this up to Nitpick and see if he can tell me about it.
There you go. Before we go too far with it, Katie, was there anything else you wanted to do, or are you good? Okay, cool. All right, let's have Nitpick crunch the numbers.
Yeah, so Nitpick just sits there, just like doing the math over and over and over and over again. He's like, I don't understand. Like, I had all of these suggestions that would have like fixed these productivity issues, and like he's basically like he's like trying to keep a conversation going with Hal, but his mind is just like blown by like as he's looking through the data, he's like, it's literally impossible. It's literally impossible to meet our productivity quotas. Like, because I have data on literally everything. I told us that we had 14 minutes and 37 seconds in the break because I knew that Cutie Pie was going to make a speech about where eggs came from. I knew that Charity was going to try to make an entirely too high tower of cookies. I even allowed an extra 30 seconds in case they went a little too high, so the cookie tower fell over, they would have time to pick it up. Like, I have everything planned out. This is impossible. These productivity quotas are literally impossible with the staff that we have available.
And something else that you've noticed too, specifically with some of your weather control items there too, even with all of your various cold weather controls specifically, because you have a quality that we like to call snow miser. And for the record, there is also a quality called heat miser, but you can't have it on the same character.
You'd have to be the avatar, right?
I get it.
Thank you.
I'll put that in my playtest notes. All right. But yeah, the numbers definitely aren't cut. They definitely aren't working. And you happen to know that, you know, some of the specifically some of the routes specifically from, you know, final part of the assembly line to QA, you know, to wrapping, and then finally to logistics to pack the sleigh and do all that Tetris. You even put in like optimized routes and everything for that, just so to, you know, it wouldn't be an issue. And it's still not adding up. The only place that this potentially could break down is QA.
I have to talk to somebody at QA immediately, right now. Like, he actually like gets on his little headset thing and orders like the research lab has had these like prototype like transport like vehicles or whatever, and like Nitpick test drives them as like a way to cut loose at the end of work, because this is like his one reckless thing that he does. And so he actually
donuts
like
on
has
the factory floor.
right, so he actually like has one of these, like it's like, I need to get to QA as soon as possible. And so like he actually like says into his headset like send one of the cars over, please.
It is sent over, and as a matter of fact, your contact specifically, Humbug, in QA, does in fact have some time for you before you have to go in for your meeting with Shirley Sirius. So, and when you said this is serious, this is absolutely serious, he cleared his calendar for you because he knows your numbers are good. QA is quiet. It's never quiet. Usually they're kicking along, they're testing everything. They're quiet, the tables are bare, and they just look completely downtrodden. And Humbug is
Humbug used to be an ironic. What's happened to you?
We've literally seen nothing from assembly in 2 days.
What?
The big man in red is routing all QA to his office. I don't understand it either. But if this is the case and we're so behind, this is a problem. We don't want to get cut back. We don't want to get downsized. I've seen your numbers. I don't want to get downsized. I'm only 300 years old. I don't have enough glitter in me for that.
They've heard.
Yeah, like Nitpick just goes like full on into the tank, like going through the numbers, trying to figure out, like, based on the difference between where they're projected to be and where they are now, like trying to figure out like where in the chain things went, like exactly at what time
Yeah.
everything started getting routed through.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll a mind plus notice for me.
All right, mind plus notice. Add my dice right beside me. No.
I mean, I have dice here, but are you sure you want me to roll for you?
Yeah, just so I don't have to. I know where they are,
All right.
actually, but yeah, just roll them for me.
All right. So I have a 1 and a 4, so that's 5 total,
Okay.
plus your mind of 4 and notice of 2. That's an 11.
Okay.
The only way that any of this makes sense is if Santa is rejecting 75% of what goes through QA.
I have to talk to him. I have to talk to him now. There needs to be exactly 0 time between right now and when I talk to him. I need to go. I need to go. I need to go right now. Humbug, come with me.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've been called into a meeting with Shirley Sirius later today. I think you're also on that meeting.
Excellent, because what we needed was more meetings while we were already behind on our schedule.
It could have been an email.
It always could be emails. I've answered 6 emails in this conversation. Email is fine.
Right. All right. So we've kind of gone through everything. So Nitpick, are you going to try and get in some time specifically with Santa before your meeting with Shirley Sirius, or are you going for something afterwards? Like what I'm trying to understand kind of some of the order of operations so we know how to continue.
I think that Nitpick is like, I think that like Nitpick is sort of like, he understands that like the numbers aren't the only thing that actually like gets you that makes the difference between who gets fired or not. Like there's a certain amount of politics involved, and so he wants to go, because the meeting with Shirley is to like pitch the eggnog, right? Or am I thinking no?
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he's like getting a presentation and everything together for presenting the eggnog, because he wants to be able to go into the meeting with Santa. No, never mind. Yeah, that would make more sense. He's too stressed right now. He's gonna go see Santa first. Never mind.
Okay. Do you want to bring anybody with you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I probably should. I'm trying to think who would be the best person to bring with me. QT, are you too busy right now?
Never too busy. I've actually made myself a clone, and so that me can be down here and I can be up with you.
I asked for one of those last year and they said that the technology wasn't there.
They lied.
Strike 2, Santa.
Strike 2. Saturday strike 2 is cloning.
How many times have I told him that the worst thing about me is that there aren't more of me. How many times?
That also might be what got the product declined. Just marinate on that. Marinate on that.
Harsh but fair. Let's go see him.
Yes.
Hold on, I need to adjust the light in here because the amount of shade being thrown by this group. Holy crap. There we go.
Ooh, it's getting a little chilly in here. It's gonna go ski.
All right. So you get to Santa's office. And there's, you know, the standard admin elf in absolute, you know, full business, ultra formal with the dagged cap, the extra bells, the tights. Like, this is the kind of person who basically has to wear big night gear all year. Says, do you have an appointment? Humbug just looks at Nitpick.
Yes. I have an appointment.
All right, let me see. Name, please.
Nitpick is going through his head trying to figure out who it would be like reasonable actually has an appointment, because this person clearly doesn't know who he is. And so he's like, who would have like standing appointments with Santa on the regular?
Shirley, obviously. There's your boss, Tin Trains. Rudolph, but Rudolph's a bit of a diva, and it's very hard to disguise yourself as Rudolph when you're an elf.
Two elves together.
Weirdly enough, there is in fact a quality for the recon elf that you can do exactly that. Funny you mentioned that. So there's a few people that you think of that have a standing appointment.
He's going to impersonate his boss. He's doing most of his boss's work anyway.
Okay, so this is where we're going to do a heart plus subterfuge.
All right. I don't have any.
You don't have subterfuge. So what you can do here is specifically you can spend a specialization to basically let's see here. I think this is on here. 1 second. And of course, my cores decide they're all going to screw with me and not let me use my mouse. 1 moment, please. Please hold.
I mean, while technically, obviously, this is supposed to be interpreted in a different way, I do have a quality called spatial awareness that says I can navigate through tight spaces, which I'm definitely in right now.
You know what? I will go ahead and give that to you. So basically that will remove your penalty for being unskilled. So you're basically, you're at a tight, this is a tight one.
And QT help with
Yes,
holiday
absolutely.
magic?
Absolutely.
Because what good is
Okay.
science without a little bit of magic?
Absolutely. So you can absolutely do that. So so for you, this is going to be a spell. So for this particular spell, there's a bunch of different schools of magic in Mora, and one of them is perfect for this. It's called Glamour. Let me go ahead and just double check real quick which stats is off of. I believe it's either heart or mind, but I'm going to verify real quick. There we go. Please hold.
Does everyone have spells?
Not everyone now.
Okay.
So glamour is actually either heart or mind. You can use whatever one you feel would be appropriate here. Plus
Mind.
magic. Okay, mind. Yes, mind. Absolutely. So you and then and since I assume Nitpick is willing, that reduces the difficulty down to a 10. So basically your so it's going to be 2d6 plus 7 with all of your with the various skills. So
13 total.
that'll do it. So with a little whisk of holiday magic, Nitpig does in fact look like his boss Tin Trains.
Yeah.
You feel like about 2 inches taller, which makes a whole lot of difference. You've got a little bit more of a square jaw. It's weird.
Yeah. Like the boss's name is Tin, so I guess like in my head, I'm like his skin actually is like a little bit reflective.
He wears a lot of silver.
Yeah.
Cutie Pie simultaneously kind of also has one of those headsets like Nitpick. Sends a message to the research team to make sure the real Tin doesn't come anywhere close by.
Noted.
I love the implication here that the scientific like research team is so ride or die that just with no context whatsoever, they're like, got it.
Oh yeah. They know exactly what to do. And there's like, no, we put too much work in this. Like R&D's pissed. You don't want R&D pissed at you. All right.
Operation Perfect 10 is a go. Perfect 10 is a go.
All right. So, Mr. Trains, of course you've got an appointment right this way. One moment, please. Opens the giant doors to Santa's office. And you hear Imagine Dragons blasting out. And then it quiets down. It's like, yes. Your standing appointment with Mr. Trains is here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he remembers that like, whereas Nitpick is a very like logistically oriented individual, like Tin is very like gregarious and outgoing. He's like, Big Red, how are you doing, my man? Because I got a quick thing I need to run by you real quick. One of my floor workers sent me a spreadsheet that's got some interesting data on it. I was wondering if you could shed some light on it for me.
Santa sets down his tablet. There is, in fact, a plate of milk and cookies sitting on his desk. I think I did see that email go by. Could you explain it to me like I'm 500?
Yeah, not a problem, man. So basically the way that it shakes out, it looks like our productivity quotas are like impossible to meet. And I don't, if there's going to be cutbacks if we don't meet the productivity quotas, I'm worried how the workers are going to react if they ever figure out that the quotas literally can't be met. And we're kind of pushing it off on them as being their fault.
I see. He stands up, and there's actually like a wall screen where he's got, like clearly has a presentation up. And as he clicks it off, you see the flash of a slide that says reindeer drone replacement.
How dare.
I see.
Yeah, so like he actually like, because Nitpick always has his tablet out, so he doesn't have to actually pull anything, but he is like live streaming this to the rest of the, like he just goes into full like Twitch streamer mode.
Gotcha. Okay. So this
Corporate
is where I'm
espionage.
Yeah, this is a mind plus subterfuge right here. You do not have subterfuge. That said KT. Because you're assisting him with that, I am willing to use your action pool specifically for mind plus technology here to add a +1 to your roll. So you're but in this particular case, if you wanted to effectively negate that unskilled bonus, you would have to spend the specialty. It's affable, which is actually kind of perfect for who you're trying to impersonate.
Right. Yeah, I'll spend the specialty to do it.
Okay, so spend the specialty. All right, cool. So that will basically negate your
All right.
unskilled bonus there. And then you can add a +1 from the technological assistance you're receiving from KT.
All right. And do I add anything else?
Let me double check. Logistics. Not just yet. That spatial awareness may come in handy a little later, though.
All right.
All right. So
it's going to be 2d6 plus 1.
No, so it's gonna be 2d6 plus so it's your heart +1. So it's gonna be 2d6 plus 4.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, wait, no, this is mine. Never mind. Excuse me.
Okay.
2d6 plus 5.
2d6 plus 5. Okay. That is 14.
As Santa goes into a monologue that is clearly so laden with corporate buzzwords, it's actually incomprehensible. You're able to film all of this. And thanks to the assistance of some of the folks in research who pipe it into some of the various screens in different departments. Charity, Elfie, Hal, and some of the various screens that show the productivity numbers and stats and analytics on your screens, those switch to a feed directly into Santa's office. So you see, Mr. Trains, it doesn't matter how we get there. It's just that we get there. If necessary, I will downsize every single elf in this facility to make sure that we make our goals and make Christmas night happen. I don't care what the numbers say. You put the holiday magic in and you make it work. Am I clear?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. I just got to check. So like us upper level admins, we're good. It's the little guys, not to make a joke, but it's the little guys that are getting cut. I just got to know if I got some job security here.
Any elf downsized. Make it work, Mr. Trains.
Hey, straight from the boss's mouth. I hear you. We're on the same wavelength. I'll get them running double time in no time. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Is Cutie Pie in the room or out in the lobby?
In the lobby. And you're seeing this on the screens too. And immediately, so I'm going to do a quick montage, specifically going through each of the various departments. R&D is horrified, but at the same time, they're high-fiving themselves because they were able to make this tech work. The head of recon actually sends an email going, so when can we get that tech for us? this makes our year-long job that much easier. The holiday cheer department is in a panic.
Yeah.
We don't want to be downsized. We're so already.
Totally get it. No, I totally understand. This is really, really bad. I don't know how anyone can be happy. We got to figure it out. We got to figure out how to make it okay.
In both assembly and wrapping, it's a very different story. Elves are angry. Tiny little fists clutching tiny little hammers. And out in the sleigh garage, the very distinctive voice of Tin Train yells, "What the elf?" The entirety of the North Pole campus is up in arms.
Nitpick is just furiously left swiping all of the notifications that he has set up when worker productivity starts plummeting. It's basically just got like a Bloomberg terminal for stocks, except it's for like
Love
worker
it.
productivity. And it's just like left swiping, like
A vote of no confidence in our CEO.
In
Right.
fact, there are folks on the assembly line who are starting to put down their tools and walk out. From the perch where Holiday Cheer is that can see the assembly floor, you can see the walkout happening.
Come on, guys. We're out of here.
Elfie, how are you feeling with your comrades in rapping?
We are joining with assembly. So Hal and I are real close because we work next to each other, because from assembly comes to the rapping, and I mean, we see each other all the time. We're close. I mean, we're buds, and all of our elf friends, we're real close. So we're talking and laughing and singing together most of the times. And for us to get all this blame, yeah, we're so angry. And so half my crew just threw down their hammers when they heard this over the screens.
Tape flying everywhere.
Tape everywhere. Yeah, wrapping paper. I mean, so much commotion. And I don't really, usually I want to gather them together and try to pep them up. But at this time, I'm not feeling it either. You know, I'm feeling like I want to support my crew and support my team. And I'm watching Hal's team leaving. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that's kind of a good idea, because we're getting all the blame. And what's going to happen if they don't have us? So I think a lot of my team, I'm going to follow them.
It's a good time for it. Some of the folks in rapping are starting to, take some of the flat boxes and use them for protest signs.
Right. Okay. And I have my poetry, my artwork, and I'm just sharing it with everyone. And, I got a
Absolutely.
couple artist friends, so we're just going to
Yeah.
take the streets.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to make up any protest chants you want on the fly.
Cutie Pie sends Nitpick a message, like, need to talk to you now, get out of the office.
all right, Big Red, I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna go whip these workers into shape so that they don't get all replaced by drones. And he just like bolts.
That's right. The doors slam behind you, and that secretary elf looks at who she thinks is Tin Trains. He wouldn't do that, would he?
I don't know. You heard it. You heard it straight from his. You heard it straight from the big man's mouth, right? Like,
he used to be really jolly. I don't know what happened. I've been here for centuries.
Cutie Pie whips out one of the more potent versions of the egg knot and say, here, just take this, sample on the house, work in progress. We got a plan.
She chugs it, just kind of plunks down at her desk. And then she sees notifications. Oh my goodness. He's practically the entire assembly floor and wrapping, they've all just walked out.
Hal starts to talk to the assembly folks and the wrapping folks, saying, grab your hammers, grab your scissors. It's time for new management.
And Cutie Pie sort of instructs the secretary elf, just stay here, keep him in the office, whatever you need. And kind of leads Nitpick away to a private corner. Is there a private corner?
Oh yeah, closer to the elevators. As you do that, you see her find the giant candy cane and just kind of thread it through the doors. And she just kind of looks at you and she winks.
Great. Cutie Pie,
bloodier than I expected.
Cutie Pie pulls aside Nitpick, is like, look, that was awesome. We got a problem. Christmas still needs to happen because those kids out there are not going to get screwed over because of some corporate capitalistic thing in that room. So we need them to rally around someone. And Cutie Pie kind of takes out this gift that they've been holding. It's like, I didn't make you a drone. Instead, I made you this megaphone. So your voice can be heard everywhere because we need someone to rally behind. And that should be you, Nitpick.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Hold on. Wait. Yes. Somebody's got to do it. Might as well be me.
I would recommend bringing in Charity just to kind of balance.
Yes, please.
Don't forget, Elfie has those handy protest slogans and that earworms. Good with words.
Let's go back to the team. We gotta get Elfie and Hal to help speak to the masses. We need Charities just an incredibly upbeat, and we need them to rally, and we need to be able to do our collective bargaining because nobody wants to be chicken dinner.
Al's still lobbying for everyone to be armed, hammers and scissors and anything else that's pointy, sharp, or dangerous.
Before R&D starts their own walkout, a couple of them grab some of the anti-chimney flamethrowers. You're not entirely sure why that works the way it does. Clearly the idea is still in some development. Start heading outside. How's Holiday Cheer doing?
Just kind of all over the place. Like her first thought is just to go storming up to Santa's office and be like, what is wrong with you? Like things didn't used to be this way, but it feels like that's too late now. Like Santa has just upset too many people, too many elves, and that would have been something that she could have offered to help him with if he'd come to her before or if she'd gotten to him before. But we're not there now, and she needs to kind of move on and support her fellow elves this is going to be a really difficult time. So they're going to need her to keep them happy and focused. They need her more than she needs to be there for Santa at this point, I think. So I think she's going to rally the cheer squad to focus on like uplifting, like, cheer, rally, protest song, whatever,
You're right there. You're right there with Elfie the rapping.
I'm right there with Elfie. Yeah, Elfie are like a duo at this point.
There you go. And Holiday Cheer right now is really ready to walk out too. So they're ready to go. As you're heading out to join the folks in wrapping and assembly, a bunch of the folks from logistics, including Tin Trains, who you just saw on screen, walking out to join folks. R&D's like letting flamethrowers fly. And as you're specifically heading out, a very tall elf with cloven hooves comes up to your right. And it's real easy to spot Shirley Sirius because she never really looked quite like all the other elves. Must have been that time at Krampus Court. Comes up to Charity's side, says, might need to bump up that meeting, but I think we can take it outside. Get your
happy to. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're in. Let's go. Woo! And I grab my team. I hope I grab my team. We gotta meet with Shirley Sirius. This is our chance. Let's do it. Come on. Yeah. Gonna make a difference. New world, new times. Fresh start. Woohoo! Sorry.
Absolutely. No, you're great. You're great. So outside, the protest has begun in earnest. The strike has begun in earnest. Elfie has climbed up on a couple of other elves' shoulders and is rattling off some of those protest chants.
I'm like reenacting Norma Ray, but in like
Mhm.
like with elf clothes, you know, and I'm like acting all the parts and
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I know we've got a couple of them in our own chat here. So this is coming straight from Elfie's mouth.
no cuts or no cuts. And where's the other one? Hold on. What do we want? Elves' rights. When do we want them? Tonight.
And they're picking it up real quick. Real quick. And Shirley Sirius looks out over the crowd. She's got a good vantage point because she's easily a head and a half taller than all of you. She puts one remarkably large hand on Charity's shoulder and one remarkably large hand on Nitpick's shoulder and addresses the crowd. Tonight, we tell Santa no more. We know what he's been doing. We know that he's been bad, not good. And we won't take it anymore. Cheering is very loud.
Ooh, can I do a quick
Yeah.
crap,
What do
did
you
we
want?
make the right decision? Is she evil? Is she behind it all? Oh no. Is there any sort of like vibe? Can I get a vibe check or something?
Absolutely, you can do that. So that's going to be for you.
Charity is very like second guessy.
Heart plus notice.
Okay.
And you have a specialty in emotional awareness that could be very helpful here.
Yes. Okay. Oh no. I only rolled a 3.
So that's a 10 with everything. You didn't roll snake eyes, so that's good.
Yeah.
As far as you know, she's legit.
What does the specialization do?
So basically, we use a specialization for either lowering a difficulty. In some cases, I can provide additional bonuses.
Okay.
So for this one, if you want to spend it and specifically reduce the okay. So all right. So yeah. So those so yeah, as far as you know, she's absolutely legit.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
there
Great.
was yeah, so you know,
just a quick flash of like, oh no,
yeah,
but I think we're good.
Yeah, okay. there's that moment of panic. It's like, no, as a matter of fact, she was one of the organizers for the union at Krampus Corp.
Oh.
Yay! But she ended up taking the job at North Pole because it was higher pay.
Surely for sure. And sure is fair work. Or something.
And for the folks who are watching, the chat that we have here specifically for the group is absolutely amazing. Some of this protest chants we have in here. 2, 4, 6, 8, down with Santa, down with hate. Jolly is folly. I love it. I'm probably going to be stealing some of these, or actually, no, I will give proper credit where it's due, because I do want to actually have this published and then, you know, have y'all listed as playtesters and whatnot, and, you know, include those protest chants because these are great. I'm taking them right now. That said, as the protest picks up speed, you notice a couple of large white looming figures coming around to where the protest is taking place. And you know these skulking figures. These are usually campus security.
Are they abominable snowmen?
Oh yes, they are. They are in fact Yetis with big clubs.
So Nitpick yells out, "It's the Rumble Bumbles! Scatter!"
Cutie Pie kind of says into their headset for the research team, like deploy the anti-chimney flamethrowers, like give them all the fire you got, and kind of just setting up a fire perimeter, not to cause harm, because Cutie Pie is relatively moral elf, questionable at times, but trying to set a fiery perimeter that the snow security cannot get through.
Indeed, these Yetis definitely kind of lurch back a moment as the elves are clearly on the defensive.
I want to sort of like get the cheer squad together to do all sorts of those crazy like tumbling passes to try and like distract them. So you've got like two elves tumbling past, and the Yetis don't like which way to look, and like elves pop it into the air and like spinning in giant like tumble passes and like falling again, and
oh yeah,
formations going apart and coming back together.
All right,
like zebras. So, basically, it's like a zebra response.
I love it.
All the striped stockings are like weaving in and out.
It's great. So one of the Yetis comes forward, is kind of the leader, comes forward and says, they're not very smart.
I'm sorry, did you just say that if we don't go back to work, you're going to assault us? Cutie, how hot do those flamethrowers burn?
Oh, they go all the way up to like,
Hey, Cutie, yes? Where's the special nog?
Oh, that's what you're asking. It's the button that says do not touch. Touch it.
Okay. We'll get to it right in just a second. Here, have some of this. It'll put a little pep in your step. You deserve it. You work hard.
It's got sorry, I misheard you the first time. It's got what's the fireball whiskey in it?
Beautiful.
Cinnamon schnapps, fireball whiskey.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, those poor Bobo. Bobo can't hold his liquor. With a mighty thud, Bobo falls down into the snow. The ground kind of shakes when he hits. Snow flies everywhere. Well, the other Yetis.
And QT says, Eggnut makes the Yeti forgetty.
I love you all dearly. I just want you to know that right now.
Nitpick is frozen in place by how good this bun is. He's just like,
so good.
Oh my lord. And for the record, for even though you can't see our lovely technical director, he's literally wiping tears from his eyes because he's laughing so hard. Well done, y'all. Well done. The other two Yeti go, you got more of that?
Oh, for sure. Oh, y'all should have some. Cheer isn't just for the inside elves. It's for the outside staff too. You keep us safe, we keep you warm. It's a mutual respect thing. Cookie?
Okay, we take cookies.
There's like red hots in the cookies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pop rocks definitely in there as well.
And then one of the smaller Yetis goes, wait, they get cookies? We don't get cookies.
Why don't you get cookies?
We don't even get bathrooms. We have to use trees and pine cones.
That is unacceptable. I think that you should, you know what? You should have more. You should have more than that. More. Can you say more?
Potatoes.
What?
Days.
Oh, bidets. Yes, bidet to you as well.
Have
Yes,
to
for
keep
sure.
fur clean.
Yes, yeah, much better. Environmental cutie pie is all over that. They have got that on lock for sure.
Cutie Pie is like already typing in notes and sending it back to the R&D team to work on some prototypes for
Extra large, like
Yeah.
outdoor
Yeti
portable
paper.
bidets, solar powered bidets.
Runs off the snow that actually comes out when the Yetis are using the bathroom. It like filtrates it super fast and like pachoo, pachoo, pachoo.
I love you all dearly. I just want you to say that right now. Y'all are welcome at my table anytime.
this is awesome.
So at that point, the Yetis just kind of look around and go, what heck, we join you.
Yay! 3 cheers for the Yeti.
The flame wall goes down. And Cutie Pie is like just starting at some of those protest chants and just clapping for charity and welcoming the Yetis in, just kind of like leading folks to try to like point towards our new leadership.
Open the gates and seize the sleigh.
Open the
Rise
gates.
up and
Sleigh.
demand fair pay.
And now I'm going to have Newsy stuck in my head all night. Thanks.
I was very proud of that.
That was beautiful.
That's the only one I've
Very-
come up
that-
with so far. I'm really slow tonight, but that one came up.
So the entirety of the elves are protesting and on strike. And strangely enough, you know who also joins you? The entirety of the reindeer corps, first string, second string, even third string.
Well, hi there, y'all.
Rudolph, poor sweet Rudolph. One moment, please. Doo-doo-doo. Poor sweet Rudolph is in tears.
No.
He wants to replace us with Trump. Oh.
No, nothing can replace Rudolph and the reindeer. Your words make the magic magical. Who can you picture except for the reindeer? Who does the children listen for except for the pitter patter of tiny hooves? Nobody wants a whir of a drum. We want the real fuzzy wuzzy reindeers.
Blitzen looks Charity dead in the eyes and says, do not ever call me fuzzy wuzzy. It's a trigger for me. Please don't.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just super robust, like real powerful and like just getting it done, you know, like really just knowing what they're doing, skills on prowl, you know.
I spent some time on the Isle of Misfit Toys and I don't like to talk about it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for sharing and making me aware. Don't worry about it. I'm going to learn all about it on my own. You just do you, and I'm going to be here to support you. Okay.
The Blitzen does he does like heart hooves kind of. It's kind of like that. Yeah.
So glad you're with us.
Nitpick looks out for me. I got you, man. Hoof bump.
Elbow, stop spread, right?
And with that, you're making the circuit, and then it's like, let's take this straight to the top. And a horde of elves and Yeti and reindeer prepare to storm to Santa's office. And
I'm playing the dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Like that is like on max right now.
Yeah.
You know, strike music.
Yeah.
When we were catching things on fire, I was definitely hearing Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture. The do 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 do.
I love it.
Here come the cannons.
So before the elves mobilized to go there, Nitpick, as being a logistics person, super obsessive and a little bit paranoid, he's like, I have found myself at the top of a workers' movement. Wasn't expecting the day to go here. I definitely don't have any plans or strategies for this. So he actually so he goes to Cutie and he's like, could I requisition some of the drones that you made to do surveillance around where the workers are marching? And he basically just like with his tablets is like having aerial feeds so that he's like, if something starts happening, he immediately will be aware of it.
Surely Sirius looks down at Nitpick and says, would you like to have a slightly better view?
Your wording is suspicious. Elaborate.
At which point, Shirley reaches up to pick up Nitpick and set him on her shoulders.
Oh, this is much better. Is this what it looks like for you up here all the time?
Yes. Hold on to my horns. We're going to move fast.
I'm quite honored. Thank you.
At which point there is a horde of elves, reindeer, and yeti, oh my, heading towards Santa's office. Assembly and wrapping. You are the best armed. You are flanked by flamethrowers. How's it going out there?
Arms, elves, to arms!
Dashing through the snow with the strike force on the way. Thank you, Charity. Oh my gosh, the puns that are going on in this chat are ridiculous, and we're gonna make sure they get read before we leave tonight. It's amazing. There were some toy soldier security drones inside, but they just kind of they freeze, assessing threat, loading. Threat level beyond normal security parameters, avoidance protocol, and they literally part into nice neat rows, literally giving you a straight line to the office. It's a little terrifying, honestly. Then again, it's also entirely possible that R&D potentially, hack the programming. What can I say?
Sorry, not sorry.
No, you're not. Of course not. And I realize I'm out of tissue, so I'm just gonna have a red nose for the rest of the stream. All right. Oh wait, nope. Here we go. I have a napkin. There we go. Bang on the doors of Santa's office. The Yetis definitely have a height advantage. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm sure the Yetis have their own protest chants as well.
Finally get to say favorite phrase. Look there! Okay!
The other Yetis involved go, for the Horde. Yes, we made that joke. We're just going to roll with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love the rebrand of Yetis as Snowworks.
Working with it. We're working with it. Oh, Lord. The puns are getting painful here in the chat. And so the doors open. Mostly because they're beaten down by very angry Yetis with very delicate behinds.
And some well-placed tinker tools from Cutie Pie and the lockpick. Yeah.
Yeah. the recon team was about to actually pick the lock, but then just boom, it's like, that works too.
That works too. Yeah.
And into Santa's office you go, where there is a pile of perfectly good toys that would have passed any sort of QA inspection, just in a pile, and there's a fire going.
Does it look like the fire was just started?
Yes.
The fire was just started?
Yes. There are in fact a couple of charred wooden toy cars on the flames already.
But if we get but it looks like if we get the fire out, we can still save a lot of it.
Oh yeah, like
Is
that's
Santa
the thing.
in the room?
No,
Is
he's
the
not.
plaid man here?
The plaid man is not here.
Cold weather magic. Gonna put out these fires.
Oh yeah, no, you can absolutely give that a shot. Let me see here. So that's going to be
Not before I take a video of it first, just in case anyone wasn't on our side.
Absolutely. Yeah. So so for this one, I'm going to recommend because of what you're doing with it specifically, it's going to be soul plus magic.
Okay.
And that's honestly, with what you're doing, it's going to be a difficulty of 10. So
I have to roll a 1 and a 2.
Yeah,
so that's
you
7
basically,
total. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just don't roll snake eyes.
You never know. All right.
Mhm.
Well, the first one's a 4.
You're fine.
So yeah, 9. That's what plus 7, so 16.
Yep, that will do it. Bum, 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 bum. And that's that little vamp comes through as there's a cold wind and snow that just dampens the fire. It starts to the flame itself just goes out.
I'm
And
Mr. Ice Miser. I'm Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, he's like humming the song under his breath. He's seen the movie.
Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr.
Can I look for Santa, and can I implore Rudolph to help me? I have a background apparently as an ugly duckling, so I'm hoping I can like Rudolph and I can bond a little bit.
Absolutely.
And I can be like,
absolutely.
You know, I'm so glad we're finally talking. There just hasn't been enough overlap between like the indoor workers and like the ones that are out there, you know, on the force.
I know, and it looks like they were trying to use that against us, and I'm not okay with that.
I'm okay with it either, and I think we should find the plaid man and bring him down because we deserve better together.
Yes, we do.
Okay, let's go.
Crouches down. Hop on my back. Let's get this done.
As Rudolph is
red glowing
getting
nose.
ready to leave, I shout, "Ready, set, glow!"
Rudolph just kind of stares at you like I haven't heard that one before.
You know what? It makes him happy. No big deal.
And you know, as the fire is put out, a bunch of the assembly and QA folks have literally rushed forward to grab the toys. Rapping, you might have to work some overtime. I'm so sorry.
Who do I think would be good with like a weapon? Would that be Elfie?
I'm so bad at fighting. I only have a 1, but I have no fear.
Hal knows how to swing a hammer.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask Rudolph if Rudolph minds bringing Hal along for some of the more nitty gritty of the work. We'll track Santa down, and then Hal can bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
Before Hal joins the team, Cutie Pie kind of pulls out from another. Like, I just imagine like all these like pockets on Cutie Pie's like elf coat. So like pulls out a hammer that is just like super light but super strong and super accurate. Here, Hal, use wisely.
So what we have is somebody with a like half science, half magic, like space hammer riding. I don't know if you know how big a reindeer actually is. They're gigantic. This one can fly. Can you imagine how terrified literally anyone on the receiving end of this would be?
Mhm.
I can. Don't forget to wear your seatbelts.
I don't have seatbelts.
Worry about it. I grabbed some ribbon from Elfie on the way like up, and I used the ribbon to like tie us to the antlers. Safety first, and then we take them down.
So the very first place Rudolph goes is actually to the chimney. He charges forward and sticks his glowing nose up in the chimney. And sure enough, there is a hipster dressed with white hair, dressed in red, stuck in that chimney.
That's it, Santa. This is your last chimney. Come on out with your hands up.
Time to take down the man in the suit.
Santa sighs. He's
You're gonna
very
be turning in
clearly
your flannel and wearing stripes instead, buddy.
very clearly stuck. He's like, I forget that only works on the 24th.
Seems you forgot a lot of things, like love and happiness, fair pay and equal treatment. Well, it's too late now. I mean, afterwards we can talk and we can totally like work together to try and like get you back on track. But like, you're totally out of a job. Like, for sure, no longer gonna like work here. Absolutely not.
And right at that moment, you hear the sounds of high heels on hardwood floor. And a tall, curvy woman with white hair and a red power suit that works really well with a white frilly apron. You're not entirely sure how, comes into the room.
So the apron adds to it. The apron is definitely like,
That's a power move
yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Believe in your elf.
And says, Santa, Horatio Claus, get out of that chimney right this instant.
Do you know he had a middle name?
I should know, I'm his wife.
Well, your husband is no longer working for us.
There's been a change in management.
I see
Nitpick
that.
starts backing away slowly. He's truly, genuinely terrified.
I see that. So, according to our corporate bylaws, in the event that Santa Horatio Claus can no longer perform his duties, I will assume full control of North Pole Incorporated. That said, I understand that the workers have some demands that they would like to make to ensure a better working environment. I am absolutely here to hear them.
Surely Krampus has represented us at this very difficult time, and I think that she should be here for this conversation.
Shirley, who still has Nitpick on her shoulder, says, oh, I'm here. We can make this work.
Ooh, okay. No eggnog cuts.
Mrs. Claus looks absolutely horrified at the idea. I wouldn't dream of it. Speaking of which, I've heard that you have a slightly more cost-effective version of it. You're calling it egg knot. I would love to try that.
Nitpick hits a button on the, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Nitpick's got this ready to go.
Yeah, Nitpick has like a shortcut on the home screen of the tablet, just ready to go. He just like hits it, and then like these two little like bot things from R&D like pop out, make a little holographic like projector screen, and just like, actually, given the budget projections for 2022, then we can actually end up reducing costs over time without having to make cuts in any other areas if we use Cutie Pie's formula for the new, what we're calling egg knot, which has been focus tested on all of the assembly line workers. They can't tell the difference. Hal thinks that he can, but he can't. It's a double blind test. We've verified later that he definitely can't tell the difference. And he's just like very anxious.
Two
She's
little
very
cheer
anxious.
squad members come trot through like in sync with a little tray with like little samples on it. Like
How
they
do-
like stop right in front of her.
How does rapping feel about this?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just give it to her. I like we're talking about the drink, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes. So
Oh,
how is this?
the egg knot. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. We are not as into it as Assembly. At first, I was upset about it when I heard about it because I know how much my friend Hal over there in Assembly loves the eggnog, and I didn't want him to have to suffer. I mean, I usually give my extra servings to him anyway and to those elves. So, but once we did the blind study, the sample, it's fine. I really can't tell the difference either, and it's fine. We're good with it.
Well, that sounds excellent. So I'm going to need folks to run the numbers to make sure that we are at quota with the toes that we already have and see exactly where we're at. QA, if you would be so kind as to get on this. I know there's going to be a lot of folks working overtime. There will in fact be extra cookies for this. We will be renegotiating a lot of salary rates here because you have all been through so much. And
How did this Santa Claus operate for so long without being any of this being caught?
That's a very good question. And I'm sure we will be doing a full audit under my purview to ensure that everything is run fairly from here on in. I have spoken with Shirley about the collective bargaining agreements at Krampus Corp, and I believe that we would potentially benefit from something here. I am willing to work with you moving forward. But let's go ahead and save Christmas.
And Cutie Pie just jumps in. One last thing. Need permission for a Yeti bidet system. Cool?
You know, I'm fairly certain that would actually be cheaper than the shaving method we had to do before. So go for it.
Yes. Thank you.
You don't want to shave. The Yeti shaving was. I don't know who came up with that. I really don't. I've only recently got involved in some of the actual business logistics. I was only made COO 20 minutes ago.
That is sudden.
You're welcome.
Ingrown hairs hurt.
Yeah, I think that's
Poor
culturally pretty
Bobo.
insensitive.
It really is. All right.
Well then, let's strike up the band and get things going for Christmas.
And let's save Christmas and then we'll go to the bargaining table.
Let's go.
And with that, elves have successfully gone on strike. The audits revealed some very, very terrifying things. Biodegradable glitter from that particular listed source has been effectively banned from the campus completely due to violations of the Geneva Convention. And just for that, the holiday cheer department busts out extra milk and cookies, and Christmas is saved.
And nog.
Nom! I'm gonna go have some cookies after this. Oh, so, and that's Elves on Strike. This went very, very differently from how it went
It did
last
go
time.
very differently than last night.
Yes, there were definitely some places where it was there were some common elements, and many thanks to our technical director for the Yeti voice yet again.
Not a problem.
But so as you can see, when you have a lot of different folks who are jumping in, folks are getting really enthusiastic. It's always good to kind of move the spotlight around, specifically to make sure that folks who may be a little bit quieter do have an opportunity to basically have their moment to shine. And I do appreciate the fact that, various folks kind of went to different folks in different departments to kind of collaborate together. And that's going to be super helpful, especially if you're running group sessions, to help some of the folks who are a little bit shyer come out of their shell. but y'all were fantastic. I had to mute a couple times because I was laughing so hard. I actually missed the mute button on one point where I was just like literally about to fall out of my chair. Y'all were fantastic. No, really, I appreciate it. And now, before we go this evening, I want folks to go through some of the puns that we came up with over the course of this session that people were typing. And if it is a pun that you did, I want you to read it out loud, because I want folks to see appropriate credit for all of these ridiculous holiday puns that folks came up with on the fly, and some of the protest bits, So the Elves rights, the what do we want Elves rights one, that was all Katie. It was fantastic. Big props to Adam for the wrapping department one, which is no cuts or no cuts. I loved it. And big props to Greg for pulling out the Bob Rivers reference that I totally caught. Do you know how hard it is to make a 64-bit game system out of wood? All you need is elves. We're non-union labor. Well, we're union labor now. That song is actually one of the inspirations for this genre, so I very much appreciate it. 2468, down Santa, down hate, Katie, beautiful. Jolly is folly. I love it, Greg. Great, you did great. Pause the claws. Oh, Katie, that one. Make some noise for those who make toys. Great one, Greg.
That was really good. How's it going?
We're present or no presents. Well done,
Oh,
Adam. I love
good.
that one. Naughty or nice, but consider the price to an elf. I love that. No more toiling through the ages, making toys on garnished wages. Thank you, Greg. Those are beautiful.
This is getting dangerously close to Rage Against the Machine lyrics.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I encourage that. That's actually the exact kind of vibe I want for this particular setting. And then, the Newsies reference with open the gates and seize the sleigh. I love it. Well done, Haley. Eggnot makes the Yeti forgetty. Thank you, Katie. That was beautiful.
That's got to be like the title of our episode.
Yeah. Dashing through the snow with a strike force on the way. Got it.
Over the hills we go, demanding for fair pay.
I
love it.
Y'all are great. Slay my name. Really, Greg. That's beautiful. We march to. Okay.
Wait, what is that one, Katie?
Well, just we were marching into the office, so the idea that we'll be watching the dum.
Yes, with the drum beat backing from the old school version of Little Drummer Boy. I'm still
That
in
would
that
be
challenge,
truly
by the way.
terrifying.
That would be amazing. Are you kidding? I'm also expecting like the Imperial March layered over that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking
Santa make it
rain.
rain.
I had a bunch of like
cute.
nutcrackers lined up with like their like sabers crossed.
How Rudolph of you, Greg. That's the one that literally like made people fall over like a few minutes ago. Rebel without a clause. Ooh.
Yeah, I like
the
that
Rudolph
one.
one killed me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The punishment this group has put me through is just absolutely beautiful. Time to spruce things up. Safety is snow joke. Believe in your elf. Somebody asked if
Believe in
this
your
clause
elf.
had resting Grinch face. Greg. Successful Xmas or you will be sorry. This group is just, I love how much y'all really got into the holiday spirit and the game spirit. So thank you so much for that. Let's do a quick run around the table for something that you particularly liked about the game and something that is going to stick with you, aside from the ridiculous amount of puns. Holy crap.
I adopted the philosophy early on that when Haley was on a roll, just let it go.
Yeah. Absolutely. Very clearly, there's lots of folks who are just like, you let them riff and they'll just go. I love it.
I kind of feel the same way about Katie.
Yeah, no, y'all, yeah.
Like I looked up your character sheet because I was like, what magic does Katie have? And then it was like, can make a MacGuffin out of anything. And I was like, oh my God, in Katie's hands, that is like the most dangerous like talent you could give her.
Yeah.
Truly, truly bad.
Oh yeah. I made that absolutely disgusting for that exact reason. Just to encourage.
So good. Yeah.
And Katie ran with it. Like like there's usually like some rolls and whatnot coming up with some of these MacGuffins, but the way you just like roll with it, I'm just like, no, this is fun. Just do it. Sometimes in the sake of a game, then sometimes there's hard and fast rules for things, but if somebody makes just something that's just really cool, just like, no, screw it, I'll allow it because the rule of cool abides here. Erin, how about you? What was something you liked about this particularly?
Yeah, it was just really fun. I mean, being such a beginner, I'm still just learning and just kind of soaking it all in, and I'm just not really super comfortable with everything, but it was just fun, and I always do love hearing everybody's, contributions. And
yeah, I mean, you did great. Like you absolutely jumped in, and you definitely took some of the parts of the character sheet and really kind of made it your own. So I absolutely appreciate that. Props to you. And you know what? Everybody's a beginner, and sometimes you just got to jump in and be silly with it, and it's going to feel weird at first, but like once you get in and just kind of just give it a shot, like everybody else will cheer you on, and you'll just feed off that energy. Like you saw how like quickly like things went gonzo, and it's great.
Yeah,
Erin's like our secret weapon. She like, Erin, you always say like, I'm a beginner, I don't really know what's up yet, like I don't have as much training, and you walk in and you so own every character that you enter into, and I'm like, this character's for real, like this is the full character who just totally is rocking this world. Like it's just it's really funny that every time you qualify it, I'm like, this is not no.
Yeah, absolutely. Give yourself some grace and don't sell yourself short. But I'm saying
for sure. Yeah,
the blast. Thank you guys.
Adam, how about you? What was something you liked about this? You just went and you really just kind of took the reindeer by the horns on this one. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the how do I put that? Sorry, it's a little bit of the adrenaline high from getting into it's worn off, and I'm like remembering I only had 4 hours of sleep.
No.
Oh, babe,
take your time.
So the thing that I enjoyed the most about it, and I've said this about like 1 or 2 other systems that we've played, where it's like, I feel like the rules are like a secondary consideration. Like I feel much less bound creatively. Like if I just come up with a strategy, like even with like, man, it was a real clutch move bringing Cutie along. I didn't even know that they had glamour magic. I just know that like I was like, I need somebody that is like, that's processing things the same way that I am. It's like, we're going to go straight to the point. We've got the data, like this is right, this is wrong. And like, then that ended up working out extremely well. But yeah, just the, trying not to ramble. Yeah, the creative freedom, like it gives me a lot of creative freedom, because you, rather than like starting with the rules and say like within the constraints of the rules, what can I do? You start with an idea or a thought or something like that, and then you just sort of corral the rules into making that happen as best as you can.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, it's that's actually a GM philosophy specifically about making the story fit the rules or making the rules fit the story. I am the kind of person who absolutely makes the rules fit the story, because we're here specifically as a collaborative storytelling exercise. That's what role-playing games are. So there are a lot of different systems out there that are specifically geared towards kind of facilitating that particular option, and Mora itself is kind of leaning towards more of a cinematic system. So I'm always the kind of person that if players are riffing and enjoying themselves and they just have their own ideas and their ideas are better than mine, I'm absolutely going to encourage them to do that, because more often than not the game becomes more fun that way. It doesn't mean I'm going to tell you yes to everything. There's going to be some things where like, no, you need to have a challenge, but your problem solving skills here and working together definitely shone through, and I was just like, I'm gonna roll with this is gonna be great.
My one regret for the night, and this was actually the reason that I asked how hot the flamethrowers got, Katie, was interesting tidbit of information. If you super cool something and then heat it extremely quickly, it explodes.
Yeah.
So if we were going to be attacked by something, I was going to like use the winter magic to like cool the area and then have the flamethrowers superheat it really quickly and essentially like,
I would have allowed that. It would have gotten very messy very quickly.
And I knew that you would, and I think that's what I mean by I enjoy the creative freedom that like this system allows people to work with, where it's like I knew that if the opportunity presented itself where that was a feasible solution, that we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
I just want to also say thank you to you. I mean, I think it's challenging coming in as a guest GM when we've had the chance of knowing each other for quite some time. And you just kind of stepped into that with grace and with creativity and with this positivity that made it really safe to kind of go off in these bizarre directions.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think any of us have played with the system before. And I really appreciate sort of that like rule of cool mentality, because it helps the group be their authentic self and not be so stuck on like, what do these numbers mean?
Exactly.
And then simultaneously, I see the impact of us having played together for a while, kind of opportunities to try to step in, but also step back and to try. Like, I know that's why I was like, hey, I want to give you a megaphone so someone else has a voice.
Exactly. And I definitely saw a lot of that through the group, and, you know, kind of, you know, making sure that different folks had opportunities to speak out. And so this is definitely not my first rodeo as far as the guest GM stuff. I've been doing this now for, months now. I got involved earlier this year, and I've also GM'd at conventions where, you know, I'd have a completely like cold group of players that I've either never played with before, or, you know, if a bunch of folks, you know, sign up together, they've all played together before. And just so I've had some experience kind of, you know, making sure that each person has their own moment to shine. And the fact that, you know, other players are joining in on that and making sure is also super helpful. And that just creates a good group. So thank you all for that. And oh, kitty. I got distracted by cat. All right. So and before we head off tonight, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, whatever holiday that is. And just remember, as Greg said, the snuggle is real. Thank you all. You have a wonderful night, and I hope you enjoy your time with your families. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. I love when I get to get involved.